Well, what's up, Colliders? Welcome back to The Collision. Daniel here to talk about the new show, A Wonderful Day with Mabel, Maclay, one of the leading shows on the new streaming platform, Bentkey. I've seen it, so let's talk about it. So this should be a bit of a different kind of review than we normally do here at The Collision, just because this isn't necessarily a show that is suited for a deep discussion into the intellectual themes and a lot of the content stuff. This is a show made for children, but it is a show that intrigues me because, like I said, this is kind of the leading show or one of the leading programs on the just announced streaming platform Bentkey, which is released from Daily Wire, which is sort of the conservative political pundit network. And I've been curious about this streaming platform, what it will look like. I think I have some hesitation, or had some hesitation, as far as a network that's made from a predominantly political organization. What is that gonna look like? But at least the streaming platform itself, this is how they describe their vision. It says, at Bentkey, we're dedicated to creating the next generation of timeless stories that transport kids into a world of adventure, imagination, and joy, a world of content and characters that families will love and can trust. And kind of reading between the lines of that, this is very much presented as sort of an alternative to Disney Plus. I know as a reviewer and as a parent, there's just been a lot of broken trust between parents and a lot of the sort of legacy groups and streaming platforms like Disney that seem to increasingly be pushing agendas and just not that trust factor that you can put your kid down and not have to worry about navigating all the various content from it. So I was curious to see how this program would be sort of one of the first things from this new streaming platform. And having seen the first 2 episodes of this new show, Wonderful Day with Mabel, Maclay, I'm happy to share that this very much is this wholesome, kind of good old-fashioned entertainment. There is no real politics or anything that some of my concerns were misplaced in that way. That this is a very delightful, it is a charming show. Kind of the way that this show was described to me, which I think is a very apt description of what this show is going for, is it kind of is like a mixture of like Mr. Rogers and then Mary Poppins. Sort of has the show format of Mr. Rogers, but the character of Mabel Maclay is a real kind of quirky, endearing, kind of Mary Poppins type character. And the creators of the show, Caddy and Ryan Chase, with Caddy playing Mabel, I believe they are Christians. They are believers, kind of creating the show. Although the show itself isn't necessarily like explicitly a Christian show. They don't have, they're not reading from the Bible and sharing, Jonah and the whale or anything like that. But the content of the show and sort of the lessons that are being taught very clearly embody sort of that Christian worldview and kind of elevate those Christian values. So I've seen the first 2 episodes of the show, the only 2 that are being released so far. Each are sort of like a 23, 25-minute kind of episodes. And there's a lot that I appreciate about this. Probably the thing I appreciate the most is that it is captivating. There's a lot of excitement and colors and sort of energy to the show without ever becoming just like a total sugar rush. Because Mabel, the character, kind of all throughout speaks with a very kind of calm and controlled voice. It isn't just sort of a bunch of yelling and hyper energy throughout, but sort of the world, the house, the backdrop, the set design of this show has a lot of those elements of, there's a lot of fancy gadgets and there's the masterpiece machine and, the characters are sending letters and paper airplanes and there are a lot of those sort of fun kind of mechanics of it that I know especially younger viewers will be captivated by and kind of engaged and excited to see without necessarily having to, just sort of throw a bunch of sugar and candy and kind of amp up kids, which, hey, as a parent, I definitely appreciate that. Another thing that this show does really well is there's just a lot of variation to the episodes. You can kind of find even from 2 episodes that there is sort of a template that they assumedly will follow kind of each time. And they keep switching it up to keep keep kids engaged. There's sort of Mabel, the character, and she, with the start of each episode, she has found some object, and she's sort of teaching kids about that object. There's also her co-host is her dog Jasper, who's a puppet, and they kind of banter back and forth and have some, she's sharing sort of what she's learned with him, and in both episodes you kind of see him apply and kind of grow from some of that experience. There's also a kind of a question of the day kind of sent in by a kid. And the way that they answer that question is really inventive. She sort of turns on this like little toy TV thing that's sitting beside her, and the camera kind of goes in, and all of a sudden the show kind of morphs into like an animated version, and it's sort of, I think it's animated, but it's also sort of stop motion, and it's very clever, it's very creative, and there's a bunch of sort of quirky characters that kind of appear in both of these episodes, and you can see how you can kind of kids will get to know the personalities of this second kind of animated world. Which I really enjoyed. I think the highlights of both of these episodes. Both episodes also have like a guest appearance, where she talks with some other sort of human person, and they kind of teach Mabel a lesson and sort of pass that on to the kids. And then both these episodes also end with what they call the masterpiece machine, where Mabel literally takes all the objects she's got throughout this episode with her dog and with the guests and with the question that was sent in, and kind of put them into some sort of like Cat in the Hat like machine, and it spits out a book. Hey, as an author, I wish it was that easy. Like an animated book that kind of sums up the theme of the episode, and then she reads the book. You see the kind of the animated drawings, and it's both are like a song. So she sort of sings a song that ties it all together. And there's just enough going on, enough different styles, enough different kind of segments that it really does move fast. And I think it will keep kind of younger audiences engaged throughout the whole time. Maybe last thing that I noticed about the show that I think is very well done is that it treats children with respect, which, hey, as a parent that has seen a lot of these kids shows, it's not always the case. Sometimes these shows seem to think that children are just a bunch of idiots. They're not. Kids are smart. Kids can handle a lot. Because this show never talks down to kids. I would say I think the episodes focus more on like empowering and inspiring children rather than just like reforming them. Because even the topics for these two episodes, sort of the first episode is about creativity, inspiring creativity, or the second episode is about curiosity and treating children like they have the potential for great ideas, and they can create, and they can learn and be curious, not just, that they, here's an episode about why you need to listen to your parents, or here's an episode why it's good to clean your room, which, hey, maybe they'll get into some of that later, in later episodes, but the topics themselves just treat children with a lot of respect, which, hey, isn't always the case with these kind of shows. So overall, I really enjoyed the show. I think it's a charming show. I think it's just incredibly well done. It's creative. And it really does seem like a show that, as a parent, you'll be able to trust, that you won't need to fret and worry about what topic the next episode is going to teach, and if you're going to have to do some unteaching after they do that first teaching, because it does seem to very much focus in and kind of elevate those Christian worldview, the Christian values, and kind of biblical teachings, even if it doesn't necessarily do it in an explicit Bible study kind of way. So hey, I'm impressed. I think this show has a ton of potential, and I think it's a good sign for this new streaming platform. If this is sort of the approach, I think there's a lot of potential for Bentkey to fill in some of that void that's been left as parents sort of have begun to mistrust Disney and some of these other platforms. But hey, let me know if you guys check out this show, if you subscribe to the network and you watch some of the other programs and stuff that they have on there. I'd be very curious to hear sort of what you think overall of the Bentkey program, if you think it's promising, if you think the material is good and well done. And if you check out this show, let me know, hey, did your kids enjoy it as much as I think they will? So jump in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on that. And if you haven't done so, encourage you guys, subscribe to the channel, become a Collider. Would love to have you just join with what we're doing here. We got movie reviews and TV reviews and live streams and just a lot of other fun stuff. Would love to have you join us. But most of all, guys, thank you for watching. Stay safe and continue to collide with your world for Christ.